Danielle DiMartino booth. Now, she's a newer player on the gold pumping scene. I noticed her coming around a few years ago, not too long ago. And here's what happens. Here's what these people do. They align themselves with the whole fear-mongering crowd. You understand? That's a whole cult. When you're dealing with that crowd, you're dealing with the whole type of delusional, mentally ill people. That whole gold-pumping, fear-mongering movement was essentially launched by none other than Peter Schiff, Peter Hyperinflation Schiff. I've covered that more than 15 years ago. You got Andrew Henderson's dad. He's got the whole family involved in this fucking scam. Folks, take a look at my channel. I just released a video, right? Escape the engineered collapse from the Western civilization. Another one. This is take 4. Obviously, America's it's pretty much finished for the most part, depending upon how you look at it. Here's the thing, folks. Just because you have a situation going on, because you're going to have predators and parasites out there, vultures. They want to tell you something is bad, we've got a solution for you, right? Just because there's a problem, you don't need to go to these fear-mongering idiots, because let me tell you something right now. and you can see what she has here. Economic disaster is coming, right? Folks, let me just remind you, there ain't going to be no economic disaster in America. If there's an economic disaster in America, the whole world is fucked for good. Okay? Don't think you're going to worry about America. What they're trying to do, because their target market is the U.S. These are the people, the largest number of people that believe all this horse shit about America and the U.S. economy are from America, because they have no fucking perspective. So these are the people who are targeted for all these conspiracies and all this bullshit to get them to buy gold and to miss out in the amazing gains in the stock market. This lady has taken the place of Nomi Prenz, who was doing the same shit. She's still doing it now, but this lady's she's kind of taken her place on the stage. She's the latest woman who's a clown who positions herself as some type of authority. Fucking clown. And she grabs a hold of the typical nonsense that, the Fed is bad and all this bullshit. Now, let me give you a little rundown on her. So first of all, she claims that she's the former advisor of Dallas, the former Dallas Fed, Fisher, who, this guy's a fucking idiot, by the way, Fisher. Fucking moron. Because this is what she lives on. So think about it for a second. Let's just assume that she was an advisor of the guy Fisher at the Fed, complete fucking idiot. This is a guy you might not recall, but I do. The Fed always has at least one of these guys. One of these like lunatic type of moron guys. He's kind of like a Ron Paul. They'll have like a Ron Paul type of guy in the Fed, kind of a dissenter who, is always kind of against what they're doing. And this is a marketing ploy, you see, to make him seem like, oh yeah, he's more reasonable. Fisher is fucking complete idiot. Just go through, you can check his track record. He had no idea what the fuck's going on over the years. But the point is, she's his advisor. She was his advisor. That's her claim to fame. You understand? What does that mean? Mike Maloney is a Robert Kiyosaki advisor. What does that mean? Let me explain to you, folks, how it works. You get your buddy to tell you, oh, I can say I'm your advisor. Doesn't mean anything, but it makes you look like, well, you're important. Oh, she was advising Fisher. No, she wasn't. She was a fucking low-level staffer at the Dallas Fed. A low-level staffer, and probably, I'm willing to bet, they had a little relationship going on. Got it? Boom. So it's kind of you do me a favor, I can say that I was your advisor. to make me look important. Okay, well, if you're an advisor, if you're important, where are your papers? Show me your work. I don't see anything. So that's the first thing about this con artist. Danielle DiMartino Booth is a con artist. Write it the fuck down. The top big swinging dick says so. Not only Wall Street's number one big swinging dick, but the big swinging dick fraud detector. So this is the first thing about her. And you can go ahead and see. So she had nothing going on. So she came out with this whole pitch a few years ago. Oh, I was an advisor. So what's your track? What have you done? What are you doing? Nothing. So she gets in front of all the gold pumping scammers, right? This is who interviews her. You understand that, right? The fear-mongering frauds. Folks, like I said, you've been paying attention? Rule number one, you want to spot the army of frauds and cons and scammers and disinfo agents. All you have to do is see who they hang around with. They all hang around in the same fucking circles. It's the circle jerk. So when you run across somebody, first thing you should do is see who they're hanging around with. Who are they mentioning? Who are they being interviewed by? Who are they interviewing? What conferences they're going to? And who is attending those conferences? What's the theme of those conferences? And you can quickly figure out the fucking game. You got it? It's quite fucking easy to do. Okay? So let's take a look now. You can see, so this is just a search of her. Economic disasters. We're going to go over this here in a second. Hedgeye. Hedgeye is like a shit show. Complete fucking bullshit. Bullshit channel. No credibility. Have no idea what's going on. They just interview a bunch of con artists. And so, the problem, what happens, folks, is that the more people get interviewed, you'll have like these lower level fucking idiots on YouTube that want to interview them. Oh, well, they're being interviewed. Okay, I can get views. That's what happens. Domino effect. And no one out there to question, to scrutinize. Why? Because they're all a bunch of fucking idiots. You're talking about ScamTube. Right? No authorities at all. A bunch of fucking grifters on YouTube looking to scam their audience with disinformation, with clickbait, promoting scammy affiliate links, selling ads for scammers. That's all the people monetizing on YouTube. It's a scam portal. It's designed to fuck you. That's a fact. Write it down. I've been saying this for many years. Okay? So let's take a closer look here. So she's writing for Bloomberg. How is that possible? What's her connection? You understand? She's one of them. You got it? You understand the problem with this high level of discrimination that's going on in the media? And you're promoted, makes you look credible. You got it? So take a look at all this bullshit. Well, she's done nothing. She's a nobody. Remember, Bloomberg has promoted all types of scammers and Ponzi scheme frauds. You know that, right? Whether it's Martin Armstrong or Sam Bankman-Fried, right? So, remember, Danielle Booth, she's done nothing. She was a low-level staffer at the Dallas Fed. She probably had some type of a relationship with Fisher, and for that, she claims that she was the advisor. She was his advisor. You understand? There's no official title. You got it. It's pretty obvious to me. No Wikipedia on her. Why? I mean, if you're a Fed person, I mean, come on, right? Let's take a closer look here. So she appeared a few years ago, jumping on the gold pumping scene. She wrote some stupid book here, Fed Up, Insider's Take on Why the Federal Reserve is Bad for America. If you write a book that somehow criticizes the Fed, you're going to be propped up in the gold-pumping, fear-mongering con artist scene as an expert. You understand? And you're going to lure in all those suckers. You've got tens, hundreds of millions of suckers out there who have been fed a bunch of lies and conspiracies and nonsense for decades, right? Creature from Jekyll Island, Alex Jones's bull, all this. This has been going on for decades. And then you've got the Mises Institute, the libertarians, all this bullshit. You understand? It's all focused on pumping gold, telling you that they stand for liberty and freedom and free market capitalism. Get the government out of the way. And what that really is about is protecting corporate interests, big interests. Why? Because they want to tell you that you don't need regulation. You need fewer rules. Why? Because what they want to do really is to empower big corporations so that corporations aren't subject to accountability. So there's no more consumer protection laws. There's no more workplace laws that protect workers. You understand? This is their whole scam, these libertarians, these Mises Institute. That's what they're really all about. It's a Trojan horse. That's what's going on. So let's take a look here. The first thing, so you're going to get all these idiots that are, they're going to give her 5 stars just because she talks against the Fed. Okay, she's a fucking idiot. Miss Danielle DiMartino, you didn't predict the housing crash of 2008. Show me your fucking work. Show it. Now, notice she's careful here. Housing crash. She didn't say, so you can tell she's a con artist because think about it for a second. What happened in 2008? It wasn't a housing crash. It was a financial fucking crisis. So people are going to associate, they're going to equate housing crash with financial crisis. So she's very careful not to put financial crisis. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, you all do understand, right? Housing crashes are normal. They're periodic. It's normal, right? So if someone comes out and for instance, predicts a housing crash, so what? That's normal. You understand? The question is someone able to predict a housing crash that leads to a financial crisis? You understand the difference there? If you read my material, which is on my channel, it's on the description of the videos, 2 chapters I posted, then you understand it's a lot deeper than that. It's a lot more complicated than that. You're dealing with securitization of mortgages into securities that are only sold to institutions, institutional investors on private markets, mortgage-backed securities, asset-backed securities, and then you have a host of derivatives leveraging all of that. You got it? That's what I predicted. Okay? So, Martino, you didn't predict shit. If you did, show us your publications. When were they published? You understand? She's just a typical liar. Everyone's claiming they predicted this and that. Because why? Because nothing happens to them. Fucking frauds. I'm so sick of these fucking frauds. So the next thing you look at, I'm going to report an issue here. She's fucking lying. You all should report it too. The next thing you look at is who endorsed her book. That gives you a good look into what's going on. Okay, now, without even looking, I can guarantee you, because she's on this whole gold pumping fringe bullshit, she's probably not going to get many, if any, people that are legitimate. She's going to get, of course, gold pumping frauds, other con artists in that whole realm. She might get somebody somewhat credible because she's friends with them, but we'll have to see. Okay? So it's very important to take a look and see. Sometimes you get people that are credible that endorse a book, and I've shown that before, and you have to shame them when you can see the person was a fraud, the person was completely wrong. You have to shame these people. Okay? Let's take a look. Oh, here we go. Gary Schilling. Gary Schilling spreads himself out carefully and thinly. he kind of spreads himself out towards the gold pumpers and everybody. He's kind of in the middle, but he's not credible. He's a fucking clown. He's basically, buy stocks, buy bonds, interest rates. He's a clown. But he's promoted all throughout the financial industry. Why? Well, because his name is Gary Shilling. Got it? Got it? Wink, fucking wink. You understand what I'm talking about, folks? Remember, I'm banned. Didn't want my book published. They didn't want anything out there. You're not hearing from a true expert because I don't have the right last name. Got it? That's what's going on, folks. Needs to be discussed. No one wants to discuss that. I'm a perfect example. I've lived through this. I've lived through the song and dance. I've seen it all. I see what's going on. It happened to me. You understand? That's why I know. And then you look at all these clowns that are promoted, a bunch of fucking shysters, broken clocks, con artists, scammers. Not credible. That's who's promoted because they're of the right cabal. And it's great if they're clueless because that creates dumb money. You got it? You got it? You understand? Ad-based content is a scam designed to fuck you. Okay? James Grant, same thing. Same thing. He's in the same boat as Gary Shilling. He does nothing. He's a fucking clown. Oh, he's so great. Oh, no. The guy is a nobody and has done nothing. But he's got the right name. You understand? William White, a nobody. He's got the right last name. That's right. This is the right last name too, by the way. Okay. Here we go, Nomi Prince. I've already covered her. Complete scam artist. She's another person who positions herself. Oh, she's former Goldman Sachs. She was in like the IT department or something, and she got canned. And then all of a sudden, Wall Street's bad. You understand? Sour grapes. Okay? So she starts writing all these books, tries to be a populist. Oh, the bakers are bad. Because she's jumping aboard this whole gravy train. You understand? They're going to buy her books. You got it? This Peter Bokvar. Hey, you notice, folks, they all got the right name. You understand? He gets promoted in the financial media because, he's one of them. He's one of them. He's a clown. Not credible. I don't know who this Alan West is, whatever. Oh, member of Congress. Oh, well, who cares? I don't know who this guy is, but he's got the right name. And, of course, Jim Rickards, nothing but lies. He did the same thing, folks. I already exposed this many years ago. Jim Rickards is a nobody who arrived on the scene around 2010 or 11, starts pumping gold because he knew he could sell a lot of books with all his bullshit. He got pumped around that whole scene. Not credible, liar, scammer. I've already exposed this guy fucking 10 years ago, more than that. Let me just kind of give you a little rundown on Doug Cass. I exposed a guy many, many years ago. Fucking CNBC clown. So here's what they do in the media. They'll promote these guys. Okay, Doug Cass didn't do anything. So he got with his buddies, Jim Cramer and these guys. Say, okay, well, you can start a hedge fund. Okay, he starts a hedge fund. Oh, he's a hedge fund manager. So the Doug Cass came from the street. It was called thestreet.com, Jim Cramer's boiler room bullshit. And you can take a look at the street and you can see it's the same cabal. So Doug Cass, here's what happens. You get on CNBC, you're nobody. I talked about with Shark Tank, same thing, Scam Tank, bunch of losers on there, or reality TV, right? Or you can look at the judges of these, American Idol or whatever. Folks, they're there because they're losers. Either their career's fucked, gone down the tubes, or they're trying to launch something. You understand? That's why they're doing that shit. It's a media celebrity status. They want to have that media celebrity status to launch a business. And the media is providing them with exposure, with credibility, with expertise, whether it's these real estate TV shows, right, or whatever. This is all fact. It's the business model of the media. You provide us, the media, with content. We'll tell everyone, the audience, that you're an expert. We're going to show them you're an expert. And then with that, you help us out because we scam our audience. And you can, from that, you can utilize that media celebrity status. You can create a fund. You can create a business. This is what Kevin O'Leary did. Talked about this. Okay. So Doug Cass has been promoted on CNBC now for, I'd say, 25 years or more. And it's always been this hedge fund. Oh, he's a hedge fund manager. He's a hedge fund manager. So they say this. It's kind of like the Patrick Boyle scam. Remember I exposed Patrick Boyle? He came on YouTube and told everybody he's a hedge fund manager. Oh, wow. He must know something. Folks, let me explain something to you before I go on. Most hedge fund managers don't know shit. That's why most hedge fund managers fail and they underperform. Okay? You got it? So don't think that the person knows anything just because they run a hedge fund. Okay? You got it? But people's perception, they think so. So Patrick Boyle, of course, lied. He didn't say, well, I used to run a hedge fund. Officially. I don't even think he ran anything, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, his name is on there. He did that to get subscribers. He was promoted by all these pieces of garbage, these disinfo people that are selling ads for scammers, like CoffeeZilla. He was promoted by Plain Bagel. He's in the same boat. This guy's pretending to be a real analyst, Plain Bagel. He's not. It's funny, you look at his description now. He specifically mentions he's not, he's portfolio manager. You see that? He sees my fucking videos. And you can take a look at his description. It's like specifically, oh, we have no affiliations to his company, because they know now they can get fucking sued because they saw my video. Okay? Your disclaimer does nothing, Bagel Boy. Little fucking chump firm. Fucking clowns. These people are, folks, when you're dealing with someone, these people are dishonest. They're dishonest people. You can't trust them. There's Sam Bankman-Fried dishonesty, and there's Plain Bagel and Patrick Boyle dishonesty. There's a big difference, right? But guess what? At the end of the day, all three of them are dishonest. You understand what I'm saying? Dishonesty is dishonesty. The end. Got it? So, Doug Cass, for all these years, and he's, you would think about it, he should have a huge hedge fund by now. And no fucking huge hedge fund. It's nothing. Anybody can have a hedge fund. You can form a hedge fund. It's not difficult. What's a hedge fund? A hedge fund means basically that it's structured legally as a hedge fund. You can have $1 fucking dollar in there. You understand that? Doug Cass is a blabbermouth for CNBC and Kramer's the Street scam boiler room. So he gets promoted on CNBC all the time. He's a clown. He's a contrarian indicator. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. So I wanted to mention that because that's the business model of the media. Okay? All these people you see, you think they're experts because the media tells you they're experts and they lie about them. And 99% of the people that you see in the media are either idiots or con artists and or contrarian indicators. Okay? The guys, 100% of the people that are on the media regularly have no credibility. And I say regularly, in other words, people that are kind of making their rounds in the media often, not to mention the daily people like Josh Brown, Barry Holt, fucking idiots, right? The guys that make the rounds, that are positioned as the experts, right? Now, you'll have some credible people sometimes, but they're not regulars. You understand the difference. They're not regulars. They'll be on there sometimes. And anytime they're on there, you're never going to get anything worth a damn from them. They're just there to get some free marketing, some FaceTime. They have their ass kissed. That's all. They know they can't expose the media, right? Because they won't be invited again. You see? So that's the whole scam behind the media, how they promote these guys. But take a look now, and the next person, I don't know, Karen Baum, she's I guess a Market Watch writer. Market Watch is a total fucking scam. It's one of the biggest scams out there. And take a look at all the writers. Okay? You're not going to see a guy with the last name Stathis. That's for damn sure. You can see here, let's take a look at the author. She's the founder of Money Strong. Stupid. She began her career at DLJ and Credit Suisse, where she worked fixed income in the public and private equity. So we don't see what did she do? Was she a secretary? What did she do there? Okay. After that, okay, interesting. She became a columnist. She was a fucking reporter at the Dallas Morning News. So that tells you what she was doing at DLJ. You got it? You got it? I mean, folks, if you didn't see this before, I'm laying it out for you. I'm showing you how to easily expose, reveal these fucking con artists. It's obvious. Think about it. If she's somebody doing something relevant at these firms, why did she have to be a reporter? So take a look. So she was working DLJ, Credit Suisse, but then she quit. What happened? And then she became a reporter at a newspaper. So that tells you about, she ain't no big swinging dick, not even a small fry. Okay, so then she spent 9 years as an advisor. So someone tell me if they can find a position at the Fed listed as advisor to the Federal Reserve regional president. There's no such position, folks. I'm telling you, it's made up. This is a made up position. Once again, I believe most likely she had some type of a relationship with Richard Fisher. What's she going to do now? She's gone. Give her an ability to earn an income, hoodwinking people, right? To make her look like she's a somebody. I mean, Richard Fisher's a fucking clown. I wouldn't listen to this guy to begin with. But you see, I know what's going on. You see, most people, the same people that think the people in the media are credible, goes, oh, well, he was a president of the Dallas Fed. So what? I don't see anybody in the Fed that knows anything, to be honest with you. Know the head from their ass. They know, like, they deal with their little thing. They don't know what's going on in the investment world. So it's a made-up term. She did nothing. Think about it. All of a sudden, she's qualified to be, as an advisor. She was working as a reporter at the Dallas Morning News? I mean, come on! Do I need to say any more? Right? Okay. So you got the deal here. Look at the shysters. Take a look. Nobody of any credibility at all. Nobody. And they all happen to be in the same little club, let's say. So why doesn't she even have anybody of any credibility? That's a little shocking. I mean, come on, she worked at the Fed. She was advisor to Richard Fisher. I mean, come on. Right? You see? And you can see, by the way, customers who viewed this item also viewed. And you can bet, chances are, most of the books are going to be kind of the similar realm of shysters, of bullshit, conspiracy, horseshit, right? Take a look. Broken Money, Lynn Alden. I've exposed her. Cryptocurrency, scammer, fraudster. Promoted. Why? She jumped aboard the crypto bandwagon with Raoul Pal, Real Vision, all that bullshit. You understand? These people are parasites. They're opportunists. They're getting aboard the big audience to swindle. You understand? Lord's easy money. Okay, how the Federal Reserve broke the American. You see that? And then Ray Dalio, fucking con man. This is the guy telling you, writing about how China's going to be the next superpower. And he wrote this in 2020 or something. I mean, China's in deep trouble, and they're not. I can tell you right now, I've been studying China and researching them for more than 20 years. Remember, I'm the guy who warned about the China-U.S. trade issues 17 years ago. I'm sorry, going on 19 years ago, close to 20 years ago in my book, America's Financial Apocalypse. I'm the only person in the world that was exposing the disastrous U.S. trade policy, which is one reason why I got banned. And you see China now. Of course, I released the China report, probably the single most important piece of research I've ever written. 5-hour webinar, 250 pages of notes. I released that in May of 2022, and that was a culmination of several years of examination, talking about the near, intermediate, and long-term fate of China. And it's not good. It's not good. Let's just say that. I can assure you, China ain't ever going to be a superpower. You see, Ray Dalio, he's got Bridgewater neck deep into Chinese investments. So he's trying to alter the sentiment there. And that's why he got shown the exit door, by the way. That's why they fucking canned his ass. His performance sucked. You don't hear that. Okay? So he's trying to alter things to tell you that China's going to be a superpower. But no one comes out and criticizes the guy, by the way, and says, wait a second, Ray, can you tell me how a communist nation that punishes creativity, self-expression, individual freedoms and liberties, things needed for creativity, innovation, how they're going to possibly lead anything? Right? And then, Ray, can you tell us how it is that if you look throughout history, the vast majority, and that's an understatement, of innovations in all categories, from science to medicine, so on and so forth, had been not from the Chinese people, but from another type of people. So that's kind of saying something about those people, saying something about the culture, the values of how these people, right? You understand what I'm saying? This is just common sense. Has anyone ever posed that argument? No, because you got a bunch of fucking lemmings out there, folks. Oh, well, it's Ray Dalio. Everyone says he's great. He's great. He's a millionaire. Folks, if you can't learn to think for yourself, you're fucked. You are fucked. You are fucked. Especially in this world today. Because there's nothing but scams all over the place. Scams, scammers, everywhere you turn. That's what the internet has done. Okay? I could go into more about this. I'm not going to waste any more time. This is about Daniel Booth. So, just take a look at the books. Complete horseshit, right? And, of course, Ron Paul, another fucking scammer. I've already exposed this guy many years ago. Folks, understand. Understand when there are people like Ron Paul, Danielle Booth, Nomi Prinz, so on and so forth, Jim Rogers, Peter Schiff, who are telling you all these things, they exaggerate, and they're broken clocks, versus a real expert telling you some of these things, not exaggerating, and it's not a broken clock. Me. The people out there who create a narrative, you understand, their storyline does not ever change because they're creating a narrative for a cult following. They're pitching a mentality to sell you shit. So in other words, if they're going to tell you that the Fed is not any good, they're doing that to con you. How are they making money doing that? versus someone credible, you understand the difference, right? It's difficult to see that. Why? Because there's not many people out there in the world like me. Very few. What you have primarily in the world today are people who jump onto narratives, right? Narratives. I'm a real analyst. You understand what an analyst does, what a credible analyst does? I don't focus on stupid shit like the Fed. That doesn't... If you're focusing on, oh, the Fed's bad, they do... Who cares? I don't give a shit. Can't do anything about it, doesn't matter. That's like Bigfoot. People, oh, Bigfoot. Alien invasions. Who cares? I don't care. I can't control it. It's not going to impact me. You understand what I'm saying? These are the same types of people, folks. They're distracting you with horse shit. So, let's take a look now. You all might recall another rule I told you to do. Any book that's got high profile, it's a high profile book. In other words, it's out in the media. A lot of people know about it, right? The person's got a promotion. You can't, the reviews are kind of, they're not credible. Because you have the confirmation bias people, the fanboys, they just write a good review. And they're already in that narrative. So you got the whole cult. You understand? So what you do, if you really want to see about the book, take a look at the 1-2 star reviews. Because often those people are going to be not all the time. You can tell just by reading them. You're going to have people that are going to view the book more objectively. Okay? And you're going to see more of the truth. Let's take a look. Okay, missed opportunity. Could have been an exceptional insider account of an opaque and important institution during a crucial period. Instead, politics and silly score setting by a neurotic staffer. There you go, staffer. You see, eager to weave her insecurities into a meaningful role for after-the-fact consumption. I agree with this like 95%. The only thing I disagree with, this is exceptional insider. No, that's bullshit. She positions herself as that, and the people that promote her do that, but she's not an exceptional insider. That's fucking nonsense. But you see here, this person pretty much nailed it. So, in other words, this person is saying that it's all fluff. It's just a bunch of nonsense, insecurities. There's nothing meaningful after the fact. So she's basically talking about things that already happened. You see? It's just a rant. That's all. It's a rant. She's not fed up with the Fed. She just doesn't like the so-called, I think, isn't it Keynesians? So, the person saying that she loves the Fed. She doesn't think the Fed is bad for America. She's basically promoting this whole Austrian economic bullshit, Mises Institute horseshit, basically saying we need to fix the Fed. You see? Okay, this one, abolish the Federal Reserve. So this person is obviously from the whole conspiracy cult in the Fed. And this person takes offense that, once again, she doesn't want to abolish the Fed. She just wants to fix it. That's why they're pissed off. And so this person is basically saying that, so she argues the Fed is a legitimate institution. It isn't. Yeah, it's not. I don't want the Fed around, but I don't talk about that. Why? That doesn't provide value to my customers. Like, that's a distraction. How is that meaningful in your fucking life? It's an organized crime syndicate that steals money from working people through the hidden tax called inflation. This is all, this is the typical, this is the type of nonsense these conspiracy wackos have been told. See, this person has been told this lie. Why? It's all about promoting inflation, the destruction of the dollar. Buy gold. You understand? Okay, inflation is a normal aspect of the economy based upon how the monetary and economic system works. Okay? It doesn't destroy the value of your money. You know why? Because you get raises over time at work, and you invest that money in the bank, in real estate, in the stock market. You understand? I've explained this many times. I mean, this person's 1-star review is just because she doesn't go far enough. And basically he's saying that, or she's saying that she's actually a hidden shill for the Fed, which, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just stupid. I was fed up with the book after reading halfway through. I was very disappointed in this book, hoping for reasons why the Fed insider believes it is bad for America, but the analysis for it wasn't. She told me the day-to-day insider's account of what the Fed did was this over this financial crisis. So basically, this person is saying that all she did was discuss what the Fed was doing during the financial crisis, which is, nothing. She's just another author writing a book that's been written. Yep. Typical, yep. That's what I said, basically. And she's promoting this whole anti-Fed thing to get people to read her book to make money. The Economic Research Department at the Fed comprises 17% of the staff, yet this misfit of a woman portrays herself as a single-handedly providing Richard Fisher with critical guidance of his FOMC voting, particularly from her bed while on family medical leave. Wow. She continually criticized others for traits that she then turned around and prized for herself. The presentation on the organization of the Fed structure and history is haphazard, and we hear way too much of her personal drama, which adds nothing to the narrative that the book implies. It is a revisionist rant on her short experience at the Fed. This sounds like an intelligent review. This sounds like it's point on. And in fact, maybe this person, I don't know, apparently from reading this, maybe she was a staffer at the research department. This is what this implies, okay? And so I guess what she's saying is that given that she worked in that department, she was an advisor to Richard Fisher, which is fraud. That's bullshit. That's a scam. That's like Jim Rickards, because he worked at some consulting firm that worked with the CIA, he calls himself an advisor to the CIA. Sorry, that's fraud. That's fraud. If that's the case, I mean, I can go down the list and talk about how I was an advisor to countless people and companies just because my firms worked with those companies. No, that's fraud. That's fraud. Okay? Booth, you're a scammer. You're a con artist. You cannot claim that you're an advisor to someone because you worked in a department, 17% of the staff. You weren't so this person nailed it right here. There you go. It could have been more of a novelty 20 years ago. So basically saying all she wrote about was already done in past, written about. It's not relevant. But you see, that's not important, folks. The important thing for her is to write all this this bullshit, because most of the people going to read her book are going to be anti-Fed, going to be gold pumpers. They're not going to see that. They're going to be reading what they want to hear, what they want to read. Yeah. They're not going to realize, wait a second, how does this fucking help me? This has already been written about. It's already happened. You understand? This is the stupid people you're dealing with. It's the problem when you're in a cult, when you fall for a narrative. You see, all you care about is to hear the next person tell you what you already know, what you have heard. You want to keep hearing it over and over again. Yeah. Okay? That's the problem when you're in a fucking cult. Okay? That's too much of a sideways story. Okay. Take a look at the 2-star. Book focused too much on personal stories. Yeah. Basically a useless book. Seen more of a rant, rave, and complain. But you see, this is what these people do, folks. They rant and rave against the Fed. That's the purpose of the book. To appeal to these anti-Fed, gold-pumping conspiracy wackos. You understand? No value, no insight, just bullshit, ranting and raving. That's all. Self-serving, not very informative. And by the way, folks, Any of you people that read my books, I challenge you to find even a single self-serving sentence in any of my books. Anybody ever note that I've written anything about myself in my books? Nothing. Zero. Understand, people. You got a bunch of self-serving. That's why the whole publishing industry is a fraud. It's a scam these days. The books are all horseshit. I wouldn't buy anything. It's all horseshit. It's all, especially you're talking about the nonfiction business investment books by people in the media. It's all self-promotion, marketing horseshit. That's all it is. That's all it is. You're seeing people write about it here. Anyway, I'm not going to go through this. So let's go on to more important things. You can see here, she's being interviewed on Fox. Now, you all know this guy, Charles Payne. He's a scam artist. I did a video on him. He's a penny stock promoter. He got fined by the SEC for promoting penny stocks. Okay? He's a penny stock fucking promoter. And Fox still has him on. Got it? What do you think Fox and CNBC do? They're doing the same shit. They're just doing it a little differently. You understand? So, of course, I've already exposed this clown. And let's take a look now. So you got Andrew Henderson's father here. Father of a scammer. Andrew Henderson is a fraud. Folks, let me just remind you, once again, Andrew Henderson is a complete fraud. He's a scam artist. He's a fraud. He's being sued by many people. That's why he renounced his U.S. citizenship. Folks, and this is the thing. This is what I point out earlier about people talking about the Fed is bad and this and that. Okay, but be very careful when they want to give you their solution, right? Notice I exposed things about America. Just released another video, Take 4, Escape the Engineered Collapse of the Western Civilization. I'm not selling you anything on that. Don't fall for Andrew Henderson. You don't need this motherfucking con. First of all, you want to go to another country? Go online and you can find all the requirements. How do you think he's finding it? It's plain and simple. It's out there. You don't need him. Okay? If you want to hire a professional, don't hire a former swimming pool cleaner, Andrew Henderson. He doesn't have a law degree. He's not an attorney. You want to go to an international attorney who's experienced in these things. But you don't need that. Andrew Henderson charges $50,000. His whole scam is, oh, well, for high net worth people. So you got some fucking plumber, some master plumber who made a lot of money. In other words, probably not a smart guy. No offense to plumbers. There are dumb people who can make a lot of money, or even criminals. Okay? And they're not savvy, they're not smart, and they're lured by Andrew Henderson. They're not smart enough to have the most basic common sense to realize, why am I going to go to this fucking kid? Okay? You can get visas all over the world. It's not difficult. You can even get citizenship in some countries. It's not difficult. You don't pay this guy. You pay people who are directly involved. Andrew Henderson is a fraud, is a scammer. Write it down. And he's created this whole business. He's untouchable. People aren't exposing this guy. He's untouchable now because he's outside of the legal system. In fact, he was in trouble in Georgia, the country of Georgia. He fled Georgia a few years ago. He was getting some heat by the officials over there. Went to Colombia. I think he's back in Georgia now. I don't know. Okay? He's a fraud. Why is no one exposing him? Folks, anybody that promotes Andrew Henderson, you tell them they're a fraud. They are complicit in Andrew Henderson's scam. So what he's got now, I knew he was a scammer from day one, almost 15 years ago, when I saw him promoting Peter Schiff, promoting the doomsday crowd. Let's go ahead and take a look. Andrew Henderson early on got involved in the Doug Casey, Peter Schiff horseshit. The people telling you to go overseas, escape the collapse of America, buy gold. Right? Doug Casey is his mentor. Doug Casey is a known scam artist, telling people in 2010, 2011, telling people escape the collapse in America, move to Argentina. I've already exposed this a long time ago. That's what he did. And by the way, come to my community in Salta, Argentina, the drug zone of Argentina, Salta, Argentina. It's a fucking drug zone. Cocaine capital of Argentina. Look it up. He was selling real estate, Doug Casey. That's the whole purpose. So Doug Casey, you could look into this con man. He's promoted by the fringe, the gold pumping fringe, as a great investor. He's so successful. You see, they create this lie, and then you think he's great, he's brilliant. You have no facts, you have no evidence, but you believe the media, you believe the promoters, right? You understand the need for evidence? Got it? Don't trust nobody. Show me the fucking. I've shown you my fucking goods. You got it? Now you see why it's important, folks. Show me the fucking goods, the evidence, because they're all liars. They don't have the goods. They're liars. Got it? So people believe Doug Casey. They believed America's going to collapse. They missed out on the greatest bull market run in history. They pulled out of the stock market. Same thing with Peter Schiff. All these guys. And some of them moved to Argentina. And they bought real estate. Overpriced real estate at Doug Casey's development was a disaster. Overpriced horseshit. Same thing with Jeff Berwick. I've exposed Jeff Berwick, another Doug Casey protege. He was also in the second passport scams before Andrew Henderson. He had a little real estate swindle in Chile, which blew up. In fact, the mainstream media even wrote about it. I forgot what it's called. I forgot who wrote this piece, what publication it was. I exposed all this shit a long time ago. I've been doing this shit for the better part of 20 years, and I know the whole fucking shebang. Here you go. I forgot where this was originally written. Well, I can't recall, but anyway, you can just read about it. This Jeff Berwick scam. Jeff Berwick also, makes himself out to be somebody. He's a fucking lifelong con man. He's gotten into cryptocurrency now, of course, as expected. All these cons, they get into the latest, greatest, the biggest scam with the most people. They want to be in part of it. That's the typical song and dance. So Andrew Henderson got himself involved with Doug Casey early on. You can see Peter Schiff, he got himself involved with a long time ago. You can see Casey. Just look up the guy. You can see how many videos he's done with Casey. Look at that. So he's tapped into Casey's network of bullshit. It's a very deep, dark network. He's a complete, you're talking a whole nother fucking venue with this guy. Look at this. Anyway, so he got involved. You won't see Jeff Berwick here because Berwick was a kind of a competitor. You see Peter Schiff, all the doomsday guys. So he gets in he taps into that crowd, the people that believe America's going to collapse, stay out of the stock market, buy gold, get out of America. Folks, let me explain something to you. Okay? If you go to another country, first of all, you're not going to want to go to the West. You're not going to want to go to Europe or Canada or Australia. It's the same bullshit, right? You're going to want to go to a developing country, right? But understand, it's not all a bed of fucking roses. Okay? There's a lot of fucking issues. Okay? A lot of issues. And most people should not leave their Western country. Most people should never do it. But you're not going to hear that. Just like you're not going to hear on ScamTube all these guys, these travel vloggers and people promoting teaching English overseas. Oh, look at how cheap it is to live here and this and that. That's a whole bunch of bullshit. I talked about this. In fact, somebody claimed, oh, I don't think you're right. It's less expensive living in Southeast Asia. And I had to correct this guy. You see, he didn't realize that you're going to pay between $30,000 and $50,000 per year for each child to put them through kindergarten through high school, K-12. You got to put your kids through international school, or they're going to get completely useless education. It's mandatory. Anybody knows this. Any expat around the world knows this. You've got to put your kids in international school, okay? Or they're fucked. They have zero chance. And you're going to be talking to someone you probably can't relate to because their thinking process is going to be different. You're talking about kindergarten starts maybe about 20 grand, depending upon where. Okay, but roughly you're talking on an average $20,000 to $50,000, depending upon the country, depending upon the school. Imagine all these fucking spoiled kids in America bitching about their $20,000, $30,000 college debt. Meanwhile, if you move to whatever country you want outside of the Western world, for each kid you have, you're going to be spending anywhere from $400,000 to $700,000 for their education just to get them into a decent college. Think about that. And that's in today's dollars. Okay, when you're putting your kid through school, it's going to be more than 12 years starting in kindergarten. And the preschool overseas is not 1 year, it's 2 to 3 years. Okay? So probably you're looking at $1 million over your lifetime to put your kid through high school graduation in a decent school. You get that free in America. Okay? That's just one example. So, another example, you're going to be paying 2 to 3 times the price that you pay in America for cars. I see $1 million cars every day, $2 million cars. I mean, when I see a Bentley or a Lamborghini or Rolls Royce, and I see a lot of them. I see massive amounts of Maybach. I see Maybachs like they're fucking Toyota Camrys. You got to understand that car is about $500,000, $600,000. Okay, in Asia, you're talking well over $1 million. I see them like it's nobody's fucking business. Okay. I see, when you see a Ferrari, Lamborghini, you're talking $1 million. McLaren, $1 million. Easy. Okay. Now, that's not because there's opportunity in these countries. It's because of all the corruption. Massive corruption. Okay? Honest people that have real money, that worked for it, aren't buying those cars. I can guarantee you that. 99% of the time, they're not going to buy those cars. Okay? You want to see a scammer? Someone who stole money, a criminal? That's who you're going to see driving those cars. Druggies, drug dealers, criminals, scammers. People that don't work for their money. People that don't have a true appreciation for the money and how hard it took for them to make it. That value and respect money. So you can just take a look here. Of course, he's going to have people like Jim Rogers guaranteed. Anybody want to bet me? I'll give you 1,000,000,000 to 1 odds. I'll give you 1,000,000,000 to 1 odds. That means we'll bet $1. If I lose, you get $1 billion. You're a fucking billionaire. I don't have $1 billion. I don't need $1 billion. I'm nervous. I have not checked this. I know the scammers. I know the MO. Jim Rogers has to be on this list. There you go. I mean, it's obvious. If you want to pull the America's bad, buy gold, you got to have Jim Rogers there because the media tells you he's a great investor. Well, you need to take a look at my videos exposing this con man. He's a con man. Contrarian indicator, investment loser. Fact, write it down. Write it the fuck down. Folks, a person like me, if you got someone like me making these claims, which you may think are bold, don't you think I need to be heard? Why am I not being heard? Why aren't people saying, well, give me a chance to prove it to you? I'll fucking prove it. Because they don't want you to know. These scammers with all their big audience, they're scamming everybody. They don't want you to wake up. Leadership, of course, is going to be on here. Yep, there you go. Okay. So, Henderson is a scammer. He's a fraud. Everything he knows, write it down. Everything he knows, which really isn't anything, is in his videos. So the people think, oh gosh, he knows what's going on, and he's talking about this, and I'm going to, folks, everything he knows is in his videos. Everything he knows is on Google. You got it? Everything he knows is on Google. It's public information. You don't need to pay him anything. You want a 5-year visa to Thailand? I'll tell you how to get it. It's easy. Easy. It will cost you $300. You want a 10-year visa to Thailand? It's easy. Just look it up. You want a long-term visa to Malaysia? You pay $350,000, $400,000 for a house. That's it. That's all he's going to tell you. You got it? There's no secrets. There's no special things out there. He's a fraud. So he wants to sell you this idea. America's so terrible. It's so terrible. But I'm going to sell you. Buy my services. You understand? There's a difference between talking about the reality of America and talking about the reality of America and pitching other countries and telling you how great it is and selling you services. He's a swindler. That's what he is. He's a con man. He's a swindler. He's a manipulator. And he's a fraud. He's not qualified to be charging anything. In fact, I showed before, you could take a look at the website, Nomad Capitalist is a scam. There you go. Nomad Capitalist scam. Somebody is so pissed off, he got so ripped off, he made a website. Okay, here we go. So at least they give you a chance to get on there. So it's basically the SSL is not up to date. That's all. Okay. You can read this. There you go. I mean, it's not as if, I already knew all this. I already knew all this a long time ago. I've had my eye on this scammer for a long time, as I mentioned.
And we're in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And
so he's got this little Nomad conference. Matter of fact, let's take a look here. And you can see over the years now he's got it like all spiffy, makes it look all, the big thing now, folks, what people want to do is they want to show you a website. They want to show you like it looks nice, right? There's no like content behind it or anything. It's all about the superficial appearance. When you see people put a lot of time and effort and money into like superficial appearance of something, you can tell they're a swindler. A great example is Raoul Paul, Real Vision, right? I'll show you Raoul Paul, Real Vision. Does the same thing. Brian Rose does the same thing, right? All this stuff, this is like marketing. Like, okay, show me the fucking beef, buddy. Show me the goddamn beef. You understand? You see? It's all horseshit. And of course, I exposed this guy a long time ago. That's why I was a suspect of Miles Kwok, who I exposed, because he teamed up with Kyle Bass and Real Vision. And of course, Miles Kwok is now in jail on $1 billion fraud. I did a video on that. let's take a look here. So this is the Jeff Berwick scam here. Here we go. So if you look over the years, now he's got it all like modernized to the whole. This is the typical scam artist website where they want to show you like all this little nifty stuff, right? It's a marketing thing. Patrick Bet-David's doing it now as well. He's got his little thing going on, right? All this horse shit. Let's take a look at the speakers. You know they're going to be con artists, okay? You can write it the fuck down. Take it to the fucking bank. And there you go. One of the biggest scam artists in the world, Robert Kiyosaki. Right? You know it's a scam. Guaranteed. Anything Robert Kiyosaki is involved with, you know is going to be at least horse shit, if not a scam. Right? You all know Robert Kiyosaki. He pitches the same thing. Right? These guys, remember folks, it's a common thread that all these scammers, especially in the doomsday, the fear-mongering, what do? They want to keep you away from things that are going to make you a successful, better person. They want to tell you the stock market is bad. They want to tell you that education is bad, right? They want to tell you having a job is bad. College is a scam. They want to tell you 401ks are a scam. Why? They want to sell you their shit. They want to make sure to disarm you from all the things that have made people so successful throughout their lives so they can lure you into their scam. Andrew Henderson does the same thing. America's terrible. Ecuador is great. Colombia is amazing, right? They don't tell you the realities of these places. That you can get your fucking head chopped off in Colombia, in Ecuador. I mean, Latin America, you go there, be ready to have your head chopped off. It can happen very easily, okay? You go on the other side of the world, you go to Asia, well, talk about the government, you go to jail, okay? Singapore, it's so great. Yeah, they got everybody in fear. It's so clean. Yeah, everybody's in fear because they got CCTV everywhere to make sure you don't fucking drop a chewing gum on the ground. They're going to fine you. Total fucking police state. You think Singapore is some fucking beacon of freedom? Let's see what happens to you if you say something about the government. You go into fucking jail. Go to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $100. That's all these countries. You understand that? They don't talk about that, do they? They don't talk about a lot of things I'm not going to get into. So I don't know this guy. Oh, former president of Georgia. There you go. This guy was scamming in Georgia. So he's obviously paying this guy now. Obviously, you know, this fucking scammer. These politicians they're just paid whores. Come to my event, I'll pay you. Okay, sure. What do you want me to say? Okay. Max Kaiser, one of the biggest scammers in the world. I don't know who this guy is, but you can assume he's a scammer. Jim Rogers, there you go. Doug Casey, there you go. What needs to be said? Right? Bitcoin Standard. Well, what do you think? He's a Bitcoin promoter? Scammer. There you go. Booth. Scammer. I don't know who this guy is. Oh, former president of Estonia. Wow, former president of Estonia. Oh! Okay. Jim Rickards, there you go. Right? Show me someone here who's credible. Nobody. You're talking about scammers. There you go, George Gammon. You understand, folks? You understand the circle jerk? Right? The circle jerk. Okay. Let's watch this video now. Let's see what we got here.
And with me today, I'm very pleased to have Danielle DiMartino Booth.
Well, I'm pleased to be here. What a fabulous event so far.
It is a
Yeah,
fabulous,
fabulous,
event that we've
okay.
all attended. Is this your first time in KL?
This is with the CEO then of Countrywide, Angela Mazzillo. And there really was a shared narrative. Of course, they were wrong. They were dead wrong. But try having been on the inside at the
So here she's talking about the financial crisis, right?
president of the San Francisco.
Like, everybody already knows. What is she telling us? How is this important? She's telling us about, you understand, she wants to make it look like she knew what was going on. I wrote about this shit before it happened. I'm the guy that predicted it. Why am I banned? Because they're frauds. They promote scammers, and they tell you that they're experts.
Quick exit, and that was always the game plan. And you mentioned, having to hear Bernanke say that the subprime bubble would be contained, there would be no effect on the broader economy. Janet Yellen at the time was saying the same thing, by the way. She was the president of the San Francisco Fed while the subprime crisis literally blew up in her backyard. I mean, we all remember the at-length interviews with the CEO then of Countrywide, Angela Mazzillo. And there really was a shared narrative. Of course, they were wrong. They were dead wrong. But try having been on the inside at the time and saying, you're dead wrong.
So you hear that? She's claiming she was in on the inside. And she's you're dead wrong, everyone. You're wrong. You understand? Complete horseshit. Hey, Danielle, if that's the case, why didn't you come out and write a book? Why did you wait until, 2017? Is that when it was? When she was fed up? When did she write her book? Her bullshit book. Yeah, 2017. You understand, folks? Right? And all this was is just telling you, I don't like the Fed. They need to fix themselves. It's all about her trying to create this narrative like she's somebody. You see that? She's a con artist. She did nothing. She's a loser. She's going back telling you what everybody knows to make it look like she was telling everyone they're wrong. She wasn't. She's a liar and a con artist. You got it? Folks, if you're not examining a person who you're listening to, you're a fucking idiot. You're a brain dead dipshit. Got it? If you don't know I'm a world authority, I'm the top analyst in the world. Somebody refute that statement. Somebody show me evidence to refute that, which would basically mean you're going to have to show me someone who's better than me. The evidence. Now, for those newbies out there, first and foremost, the 2008 financial crisis, I predicted in 2 books in detail. In detail. Not just the crisis. I actually predicted the bottom in the Dow 2 years before it bottomed. 6,500. It's in my book. Okay? That's goddamn magic. I would say. Now, my point is this. That's the most severe, colossal, devastating collapse, arguably, in history, which was not predicted by anybody else. Okay? No one predicted it but me. Okay? If you understand what a prediction is, it's not someone flapping their jaws, saying this and that. Something this large, you have to present a very detailed presentation, show a lot of data, explain what's going on. And in that book that I wrote, I explained the big picture, which is even relevant today. Nobody was writing about trade. Now it's the big issue. When you have someone like that that's writing about how China-U.S. trade is not only destroying middle and working class America, but is a national security threat to America, think about that. What type of person are you listening to who was writing about that nearly 20 years ago? In the early stages of China-U.S. trade. Who are you dealing with? You're dealing with the top fucking dog. Okay? You understand that. If you don't understand that, then you're not going to understand anything. So, first and foremost, you got to find, if you're going to talk about a top investment analyst, certainly, if you got somebody that predicted financial crisis, right there, they are one of the top in the world. The end. They don't have to have done anything else if they truly predicted it. But the thing is, I've done a hell of a whole lot more since that time. I've continued to publish a consistent track record of success, not just in something in macroeconomics like that, market forecasting, individual stock analysis, so on and so forth. I'm the only person I know of, the only analyst recommending NVIDIA in official reports, and have done so every year since 2009. Netflix in a book since 2008. Okay? Those are just two examples. I'm not going to go into my track record. Okay? That's who you're listening to. The problem is most of you people out there, you think an expert is what the media tells you or what everyone's talking about, you keep hearing about, because you're too stupid and too naive to realize you got to research for yourself. You want the evidence. Show me the fucking evidence someone's an expert. Where's the evidence? I've shown you the evidence there. Look at the description. Got it? Don't believe anybody in the media. They're all liars. Okay? That's a fact. Liars. You don't have anybody truly in the media that's truly top-notch. Any top-notch, even top-notch investors, they're not in the media. They're not in the media talking about this or that. It's the clowns and the contrarian indicators, always. Okay, you got it? So let's continue here. Just a refresher, Booth is talking about things during the financial crisis. She claims she was an insider, and she was saying, oh, they're all wrong and I'm right. No, you weren't. Where's your evidence? First of all. Second of all, did you predict anything? No, you didn't. You understand? You got it? She did nothing. She was a nobody. And she's coming out now trying to make it look like she's credible and telling you the Fed is bad, there's going to be a collapse, buy gold. She's a gold pumper. You know that, right? You don't know that? Let's go ahead and take a look here. Gold, collapse. There you go. Economic disaster is coming. I'm bold gold. You see all this bullshit? Of course, she gets, Kitco, scam, Hedge Eye, scam. You see all this? Another recession 2021. Well, didn't happen. Fucking clown. She's a fucking clown. Of course, Adam Taggart, right? Another scam artist. That's the deal. I've exposed this lady, and I may expose her more in the future. Bottom line, folks, if you don't understand the gold pumping scene, then you're not going to get a lot of this stuff. Okay, but I've exposed what she's doing, why she's doing it, right? She's towing the whole gold pumping line. Why? To sell her books, to sell her bullshit. She has no credibility. It's what all these people do. I've discussed this over and over again. Whether it's pumping gold, cryptocurrencies, people get behind these things because there's a big audience of people. If they cater to them, they can sell them their shit. Okay? You got it? That's how it works. She has no credibility whatsoever.